I dramatically changed my life. So I wonder when a Cormier says he's never going to change. And everybody I've interviewed from the UFC side I've talked to, I've always asked, who do you think can one day replace Dana White? I got to tell you, unanimously, do you think Conor could do it? No. Do you think Joe could do it? Joe wouldn't want to. Do you think this guy? Almost everybody I've asked who could replace Dana's job is Cormier. And I'm telling you, that's what a lot of people, maybe you disagree with that.
No, I think DC can for sure.
So they say DC, so I ask why? Because Dana is straight up, and he'll tell you your flaws. He says, you screwed up. Like Dana will see on the camera and say, what the hell was he doing throwing something on the bus? What are you doing? Like, what were you thinking? Or what are you thinking jumping out? Or in that one fight where Khabib's like, give me the belt. I won my belt. Let me tell you something. If I give you the belt right now, here's what I think is going to happen. This place is going to go crazy. Shit's going to get ugly. I'm going to give it to you later. I can handle it. I'm not giving you the belt. Like, those are not easy conversations to have. Like, the average person will be like, all right, here you go. Let me give you the belt. No, the guy sticks. And for DC to say, a person doesn't make the same mistake over and over and over and over and over again, right? That's a tough thing to tell somebody.
Yeah.
You know, that's a very tough thing to say to somebody. So does a DC believe that, you know, and then I see a story with me, the change. My dad and I have the biggest debates all the time. Here's my dad and I's biggest debate. I would have my friends come over and I would say, Dad, I think this guy's going to make a very big impact in his life. He said, no, he's not. I said, what are you talking about? You know what he would say? He would say, look how short he is. Look what he weighs. He said, this can't even discipline his diet. You think he can discipline to work? That's my dad, how brutal he was. I had a friend of mine. He would come over. Two guys would come over to our house. He'd call both of them gordo. You know what gordo means? Yeah. Gordo means like a
little chunky boy, fatty boy. Yeah.
One of them never showed up again. The last time he was in the room with my dad, he was 25. He's 43 right now.
Wow.
Because he's afraid my dad's going to say, hey, gordo. Hey, gordo. That's my dad, right? How he is. I said, Dad, you can't talk to people like that. Well, he's fat. What do you want me to tell him? So he's gotten better over the years. He's 79. Now he's listening to this here. But he would call this guy gordo. Now, another guy, he called him gordo, George Palaio. He says, hey, gordo, when are you going to fix that? Look at your pants. It doesn't fit. When are you going to... My dad would straight up... And by the way, my dad, is he the sweetest guy or what? He's nicest guy you'll meet, right?
The most cerebral, smartest.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like a real-life Socrates.
Yeah, he's
real talk.
Just a chill guy. Yeah, he's 5... How tall is he? I'm 6'4", 6'5". How tall is my dad? What would you say my dad is?
I think he's about 5'9". I want to give him an inch or two.
Okay, so
probably
5'9".
5'7".
But he's just like this, right? You know what George did with it?
What's that?
He changed. George will make $3 million this year at 34 years old, 35 years old, right? But he changed. He decided to say, maybe this guy's right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's somebody that's giving a feedback. So one day we're having a debate with my dad, and I say, Dad, I think that guy can change. He'll never change. Dad, I think that guy can change. Patrick, I'm telling you, he'll never change. You think everybody is willing to work their asses off like you're working? What do you think the world is like? That guy is not going to change. He was right half the time. I was right half the time. Okay? Meaning there were guys that I believe, but I bank on believing people can change. The story of my life is I believe people can change, right? There's a part of it where you wonder, it's so deep-rooted to the core that, you know, I mean, Nike contract, you know what I mean? The only UFC fight that's ever been canceled was 151 with Dan Henderson. Yeah. You know this. It's the only one ever that, you know, Dana's like, and he, second chance, third chance, fourth chance, all of this stuff.
You're talking about Jon Jones here, right?
Yeah, Jon Jones was going to fight. What was the fight? It was another fight, and then Dan Henderson. Anthony Johnson, and then he got her, and then, you know.
He tested positive right before DC.
Yeah, so all of these things, and then last minute, Dana doesn't want to cancel a fight. Are you freaking kidding me? Who the hell wants to cancel a fight? It's a bad look on the sport, right? You have to refund cancellations, all this bullshit. The media is going to write about it. They're struggling. They're going out of business. Nobody's watching them anymore. Who the hell wants to answer all these questions, right? So yeah, I wonder who's in his ear.
Well, Dana even said, said you know, it's impossible for me to bet on Jon Jones in a weekend in Vegas. It's impossible for me to bet on Jon Jones.
Do you know how tough that is for a guy who has given people, not just him, he's given people so many second chances. He's like Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson liked to go get people who got arrested.
Yeah.
Who did that was his motto, right? Even Bill Belichick is good at doing that. He did that with a few different guys,
I
right?
mean, Pat, in fairness, this isn't an industry where you're pulling guys out of Cornell.
Totally
here.
right.
Like,
I get
come on,
that.
this is.
But listen, Michael. What you talking about? Miami was? You
what I
think
mean.
Miami Hurricane?
That's what I mean.
No.
There's a place in this world for pirates, still, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get there's a place for pirates, but I think when Jon says I'll change, I think he wants to. That's the difference. Like you see Jon's interview and he says I'm gonna change. I want to change. I think he wants to. Then there is somebody else in the ear. Who is that? Is the right person in the ear? Is the person willing to listen to the person in the ear?
But bro, let me give you a different perspective.
I guarantee you.
Well, here's my question, and I'm going to open it up for you. Hypothetical. I don't know Jon Jones anywhere near where you guys. Everyone here has said that he's the #1 guy of all time. Everyone. Why would he change? Maybe what is keeping him freaking mad and doing that is what is the reason that he's #1.
I actually
Open-ended question.
I can't believe
like Tiger Woods. When Tiger Woods changed, he wasn't Tiger Woods.
I'm just saying, like,
that's
why
a great
would he
point.
change?
That's a literal great point.
Yeah, they
man.
happen from
Yeah.
once a year.
No, but that's not the point, though. Listen,
Okay.
Tiger
there-
Woods
give
is
it
a
to
great example.
But Tiger Woods, his example was 16 porn stars, guys. This guy
And he was
wasn't-
winning Masters.
Yeah, no, but that's not the point, though. The point that Tiger gets credit on what he said, which is not everybody can do this. We have a guy that I work with, Jose Gaitan, okay? We're sitting in my office one time. I'm interviewing this guy who wants to work with us. Jose's sitting over here. I'm sitting over here. We're in Northridge, California, which is the earthquake capital of the world, right? Sitting talking. So Johnny, tell me about your background. Who were you in high school? I'm asking him all these questions. All of a sudden, massive earthquake is going in the middle of the interview. Glass is going like this. Shit's falling down. No joke. This guy, I look to the right to look at the window. I look to the left. This guy's running out the window, right? Running out the door. He's out. He left the office. He went outside.
Get done.
No, not Gaitan. The other guy. Here's Jose. So Pat, we should probably leave the
shaky,
building.
right? Yeah.
What do you think? I said, yeah. And he just goes, real slow. Gets up and starts walking on. Jose, dude, a hurricane could hit. An earthquake could hit. He's still going to be texting
He's
the
a
person
very
back.
stable dude.
But what I'm saying is, like, people who can balance, shit's not going right in your personal life, and you're still winning. Tiger could pull that off, right? Not a lot of people can do that. Jon Jones could pull that off. Not a lot of people can do that. But for every story like that you hear, there's a ton of stories that end with a horror story. And this guy's got a family. This guy's got people that love him. And at the end of the day, I get, like, even Michael. Michael was reckless. Totally get Michael was reckless. But to what level, though?
Lawrence
To what
Taylor.
level?
I mean,
Yeah.
it goes on and on.
Yeah, but Lawrence Taylor, that story didn't end well. Lawrence Taylor could have had a complete different career for himself.
How much better
The problem
could he
is,
have
though, the problem is
not the
sometimes.
sport, though. Not the sport. Life is bigger than sports, though. Life is bigger than sports.
Yeah, the problem is sometimes these athletes, they have this dark passenger, like this other side to themselves that allows them to rise to the occasion, and that darkness needs to eat and needs to feed, so you have to do dark things in order to feed it, and sometimes they overindulge in it, and it takes over who they are, but you have to be able to understand the difference between the two. You have to understand when it's time to feed the beast, and when it's time not to, and if you are getting overindulgent in feeding it, then you're out of balance, because it's all
You make
standing
such
in
a good
balance.
point.
Yeah.
For example, Jordan Peterson says what? You got to be a monster.
Be a
right?
monster.
Okay, be a monster. Totally get it. Tim Grover in the book Relentless, I don't know if you've read it or not. He talks about how all the great ones have a vice, like the internal vice that we deal with. Everybody here, we all sin in a different way, but ain't nobody in here free. If people went through your search history or they went through your phone text and the way you done some conversations behind closed doors with people, we would all be embarrassed right now with some of the shit that we've done, right? But then, we had Sammy the Bull Gravano comes and we go to a restaurant, Casa D'Angelo. I don't know if you know what Sammy the Bull is.
Yeah.
So we go to Casa, we're sitting, we're having dinner. One guy shows up, John Mason, okay? And he sits in the corner, we're having dinner. Sammy looks at John, and he keeps staring at him, right? And John wanted to come. He was dying to come, but he didn't want to die to come. You know what I mean? Like one of those situations. So he said, hey, Sammy, how are you? He's not even making eye contact. So Mario starts joking around, telling Sammy, I just wanted to let you know, while I was outside, John was talking major smack about your family. And John's like,
Johnny Mays.
No, I wasn't. He's lying. No, when John is like literally like doesn't realize that Mario and Sammy are playing a joke on this guy.
Shook it.
But here's the part. So you know Sammy's capable. That's the part. The fact that he can go to a very, very dark side.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the part about having a gun. You don't have a gun to use it every single day just because you have it. You have a gun so the other person says, hey, how you doing? Everything good? Awesome.
Right,
Great.
right.
Thank you so much for coming to our liquor store. Now get the hell out of here, right?
Yeah.
I'm capable. I think, John, we all know you're capable, but dog, just like, you know what I mean? Because this thing is, look, you know, if you're his agent, you're his manager. Everybody's saying, well, you know, this is part of darkness, this is part of this. How big of a contract would that Nike contract have been for John?
I mean, he would have jumped into a different stratosphere when it comes to who he was.
Yeah, it's a $100 million contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive contract. You're set, right? Well, I just didn't want to do it. You know, so those are the things that for me, I you know, you win in life, and we typically forget who gave us that one counsel or who was there in that moment that told us to do this and to do that, and we were about to screw up. Where you make that additional phone call. You know what I mean? You make that phone call to somebody. You got to, if you were to make a list of names of people that impacted your life, you'd probably come up with 20, 30, 40 names and say, at this point in my life, I was 17, this person said this. At 18, my wrestling coach said this. At 19, a bartender I was working with, the boss said this. At 19 and a half, my mom said this. At 20 and a half, the girl that left me said this. You know, you got it. So.
But I think the problem is also the fact that, you know, we're putting this on, you know, who does he have around him? At the end of the day, it has to come from here. You know what I'm saying? And I feel, I may sound like a hippie for saying this, but I think 5 grams of mushrooms would set John free.
I tell you what, it would be a lot better for his career than 5 grams of the white stuff. That's for sure.
What do you think that would actually do for him? Because nobody gets better when they do cocaine.
I'm gonna tell you this right
other
now.
than Dewey Cox. What would the mushrooms do for him?
If he did the toad, which is 5-MeO DMT, not the regular stuff that people do with the, you know, the other, you know, that right there would show him something, you know, because it's a totally different experience, but at the same time, you're almost reborn at that moment. You know, it's a medicine that just completely just changes everything that you even know as reality and even yourself. So I think he needs something powerful like that, because what he's searching for, he may not even know anymore. You know, he just may be feeling that something is not right, and he's trying to chase it. So
What do they call it? Chasing the dragon, and you never catch it?
never catch it.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.